So Mark Lambert has been with Parasoft for 16 years now, I guess. He was our VP of products, and before that he was in services, and he's helped a lot of different customers at Parasoft. Mark, we can see your screen, which is chroma cam, which is funny. Anyway, Mark and I both over the last couple of decades, as most of this century, have spent a lot of time with clients, helping them do really interesting things. And so Mark's going to help us wrap up with some unique insights on what's been done and what we learned today. Roosevelt, you can turn your camera off if you want to.
Yes.
And Mark, take it away.
Great, thank you, Arthur. And the first thing, obviously, is thank you to our speakers today. I hope everybody that's attended today has thoroughly enjoyed this session as much as I have. It's really good to hear focused conversations around specific real-world examples and real-world scenarios. Really, I think today's flow, really, Diego kicked us off in a really powerful way. Diego and I have talked over many years, and really this conversation about it's not just about speed of delivery, but it's also speed with quality. The question around, do I have to deliver at this speed of once a month, or does my business require once a quarter, but with a much higher quality? One of the challenges that a lot of organizations face is, the term "we're not Netflix" comes in, and we're not all about pushing something out, seeing if it works, and then rolling it back if it doesn't. Many organizations have a level of compliance that is critical to bake into your continuous quality process. And really, Diego, I thought, really kind of laid us a good solid foundation there of areas where we should be focusing on. Herminio, fantastic presentation. The work that he's been doing there with ING to really help accelerate the testing activities and build credibility into the delivery, because really that's what it's all about. It's all about building releases that are credible and reducing, the thing that Fitch talked about as well, which I'll come back to in a second. So I thought they were next, which is reducing the number of production outages. Now, the work that Iovo does with ING is a very critical type of application where it's a very highly complex use case, and really that's Ryan really drilled home on that. I mean, I hope that everybody kind of felt the same way I did as he was talking through the different stories. And Ryan and I've talked about this before, but really understanding everything that goes into making sure that your flight is safe, and that they can get there critically with the fuel that they need, with the passenger loading and the cargo loading and the level of complexity. Really, truly, I didn't appreciate that until I'd spent time talking with Ryan about the complexities of his environment. As I mentioned a second ago, Fitch, obviously now we're talking about unit testing. We're talking about how we can use JUnits to really help us build in a foundation of a quality process into my organization. Vince, and certainly what the team at Fitch Solutions are doing is really the right thing. It's got management buy-in for quality. It's a quality first approach, and saying, okay, we know that if we do the right things, that we'll be able to reduce our number of outages, we'll be able to accelerate our delivery with confidence, because really that's the thing, is am I confident in what I'm delivering? And I think that's a great metric. From 18 outages to over 100 days without any downtime is a fantastic kind of a testament for the quality process. Now, Sabre and Alaska, both in the same industry area. And in fact, actually, Alaska leveraging a lot of Sabre's backend systems there and leveraging service virtualization to decouple themselves from some of the Sabre infrastructure. And then Sabre doing the same thing, leveraging service virtualization to reduce that developer and tester downtime. Sandeep there talking about very great goals that they've already achieved, but right at the beginning of this journey, and already seeing value that they're able to articulate to the management organization around reducing downtime, improving productivity, and really making sure that you focus on testing rather than the environment. Now, that last point is kind of the thing that Roosevelt brought us home with, right? You need to be able to communicate to your management organization what the ROI and the value proposition of test automation is within your organization. And when we were doing our dry runs, Roosevelt kind of made this offhand comment of, when he did his ROI calculation, $65,000 isn't a lot of money. Well, it's actually a lot of money to me, and it's a lot of money to Arthur. But when you do talk at an enterprise level, it really isn't. But when you scale that number, and really, if you kind of did the math, and Roosevelt did it for us, over $1 million a year saved in cost avoidance. Now, cost avoidance is one metric for measuring the ROI. You've got another one with Vince where you're talking about production outages. And really, I think, if you also look back at the research that Diego talked about, he also identifies a number of other metrics there where you can use those to kind of build the value proposition for your organization, so that you can kind of get that management buy-in for a quality first approach. Now, again, thank you, everybody. These presentations were fantastic today. And we've had questions as we've gone through the session around access to recordings, access to materials. Yes, you will be actually getting an email coming out after this session. And that email will include a survey to give us feedback. Please give us feedback. This is our first automated software testing summit, and we do plan on doing more. Also, if you are interested in speaking, because really we believe the value of these is clients talking, real world users. So we really would love to hear from you talking about what you see in the real world. You respond to that email. You'll see an email address at the end of today's session as well. But just a couple of things as kind of potential next steps for you. So, what we need to think about is, obviously we touched upon a lot of technology today. Diego, in his opening, talked about his research with the continuous functional test automation suites wave that was this year's Forrester research into the whole test automation space and identifying the key vendors. If you scan this QR code, or if you click on the link below, that'll actually take you to a landing page where you can fill in and get a copy of that report. Parasoft was named a leader in the 2020 Forrester wave. It's actually, if I'm remembering correct, our 5th wave that we were announced as a leader with different Forrester research, and we're very, very proud and honored for that. And then the folks that have talked today have been leveraging different Parasoft technologies to help them with test automation at different layers of the testing pyramid. So Sabre, Eovo, and Alaska, and actually Caesars as well, talking about Parasoft Virtualize, of which there is a community edition for individual developers and testers to leverage on their desktop. So you can go ahead and get access to that today. Also, Sabre and Caesars leveraging SOA test for API testing. Roosevelt there talked about kind of that API testing layer being the sweet spot for load and performance testing, so we can reuse those API tests. And then Fish Solutions leveraging Parasoft JTest. And one of the really cool things about Parasoft JTest is it generates JUnit test cases in a completely non-vendor locked model. So basically those test cases you can create in the desktop. It assists the development team accelerate the process of creating meaningful and maintainable tests that give you high coverage. And then those tests can be run in CI/CD pipeline without any Parasoft technology embedded within it. Now, if you'd actually like to learn more about the testing technology, we're actually going to be doing a webinar in a few weeks. So we're actually going to be doing it on Wednesday, December 16th for US-centric time zones, and then on Thursday, December 17th for our European teams as well. This will be myself and Chris Colosimo, who is our product manager for the functional side of the business. So talking about our SOA tests, Virtualize, Selenic products, but we'll also be profiling Parasoft JTest as well. We'll talk about that entire stack that the team we're talking about today, and we'll touch upon each of their use cases again to put it into kind of a little bit of a technical context. Of course, if you would like to get some more information directly, please feel free to reach out to us at info@parasoft.com. You will be receiving an email following the summit. All the recordings will be available. You'll be receiving handouts as well, so watch out for that email. And again, please do fill in the survey. We'd love to hear what you thought worked really well, what we should be focusing to improve this. And also, again, as I said, if you would love to present, we'd really love to hear from you as well. So with that being said, Arthur, I think thank you for emceeing. Great job on that. So I don't know if we have any other questions that have come in that we want to address, or if we just take it home from here.
We had one other that, like I almost hesitate to do. It was such a great question, and it came in right after Roosevelt had finished. But Roosevelt, if you wanted to jump on real quick, if you're still available with your camera, because you had brought up a point about dealing with Parasoft versus another vendor, and someone was asking why you prefer Parasoft solution against other market examples.
Well, the other product failed, right? And I think the main thing when you go, you really need to have a vendor that aligns to your strategic direction, that is behind you, understand what you're trying to achieve. That's why I picked Parasoft, because they had the support also. I mean, in 30 minutes, you had a hot fix, and I have another vendor saying, hey, you got to pay us to tell us what's wrong with our product. That's night and day to me.
Thanks, Roosevelt. And for those who are looking at choosing a new API testing tool or a service virtualization tool, 2 of our handouts are white papers, and they talk about things that you should be looking for when you're looking at tooling. So appreciate that, and I thank everyone for their participation, and I believe we will call it a day. Have a great day, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you again.